Hey everybody, this is Mike Radzwilla here with MTGOacademy.com. We're playing in a Pauper daily event. We're gonna go first. Let me turn the sound down a bit. Alright, we're gonna be running, as you can see, the Black-White Pestilence deck, and we're gonna keep this. So, um, yeah, we're running Black-White Pestilence. It's more or less similar to the list that was posted in the article, with some minor changes. These being one of them, which I will go over as the games happen. To give a brief rundown for this deck, if you didn't check out the article, it would be cool to check that out because it gives a lot of the theoretical background of this deck. So, of what it's trying to do, how its matchups look. In general, most of the matchups are really strong. Um, Storm is kind of a shot in the dark game one. Game two, it gets really good because the sideboard is basically 15 copies of Duress. Uh, the mono blue fairies matchup is okay. It depends how much control magic they have. The more creature heavy decks are good matchups, and the more control based ones get a little worse. And then Cloud Post is just an absolute failure. So we're going first. We're just going to open with the Wall of Hope. Alright, so we're against Goblins. It's a really good matchup for us. Basically, Pestilence locks him out of the game. Wall of Hopes are excellent against them because he can't. If he attacks into it, he needs two creatures, and it effectively blocks two creatures. And then we just have a lot of life gain, which is going to be difficult for him to get around. So we're in pretty good shape, especially game one, especially with an early Wall of Hope. Um, and then once Pestilence goes up, and a lot of the cards we have are just Guardian of the Guild Pact is pretty much impossible for them to deal with. Aside from just trying to, there it is. Uh, Aside from trying to swarm you with a Bushwhacker. So we're gonna play him. Oh, sorry this is taking so long. I don't know what the other guy's doing, but um, all right. Let me pause the video. All right. So the missionary resolves, and we'll pass. Yeah, but once Pestilence resolves here, they really have no way of beating us. We also got off to a pretty. The Goblins wins this matchup if they can get a really heavy presence, and then we have a slow starting hand. So I don't know. I don't know. The Goblin like nut draws where they get the marshals and then from there they get the Mog Raiders into the Bushwhackers. When they get to do that really quickly, and then we don't have the Wall of Hopes or a way to a way to interfere with them in some way early on, then they can win. But more often than not, this is a very favorable matchup for us. It's probably one of the better matchups, if not the best. And then once we get our last land, assuming we get our last land, um, we can pretty much... Okay. And most of these decks are... They have difficulty dealing with us when we're able to cushion our life total so heavily. You know, with the missionaries, the Wall of Hopes, the prismatic strands, and all of those things. Um, okay, how do we do this? I think we'll... Actually, no. I think maybe these can just block these. Because if we block any of these 2/2 guys, then he's able to trade, and then our field starts falling apart. And at this point, we're close to winning this, and he's not going to be able to blow us out anytime soon. And these hold back his board so heavily that without them, our clock goes up a lot. All right, so next turn. So we're in pretty good shape from here on out. Because once, I guess Guardian might be the card to resolve here because he can't attack into it. And that makes playing Pest... Okay, so that's... And once again here, we're just going to block these guys. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, so we're still at... Well, sorry. We're going to be... We're at 14 plus whatever we gain. I don't know if we do gain something. Which is actually still pretty good. Okay. Let's see. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He can hit us for 15 with another Bushwhacker. I mean, the options here, we can play Pestilence and then try to sweep the board next turn. Or we can just play the Guardian and start blocking. He has one card in his hand. These guys can't attack. He can't attack alone. Alright, I think we can just start playing the Guardians. Because once we start building up, I don't know, once we get the Guardians out, he can't attack into us. Alright. We're also going to kill this first, so we could hit these things with Pestilence. I mean, I guess that's not really... Basically, I mean, if we get another black, we could Pestilence for 1 and then put these guys both in jeopardy, as opposed to, you know, if we kill one now, then... Alright. We're in really good shape here. And we can curse... Well, there's nothing really to Curse of Change. If we Curse of Change anything, it would have to be the Jackal Familiar. But we're better off just... Well, actually... at this point, I think we just play the pestilence. Because he can just 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, so 15. Yeah, he would need like a bushwhacker and a fire blast to even possibly pull this off. Which, I mean, I doubt he will have. Alright, so here we're gonna pestilence. We're doing this on our turn instead of his, so we could start killing these things. And then, because what he's gonna have to do is either get rid of them, to like, sack them to pump other guys, or sack other guys to keep them alive. And if he does it on our turn, he doesn't get damage out of it too. So if you attacked, we pestilence, he would also get to pump his guys and then attack with pumped guys. Whereas now he's not going to get that opportunity. So that's that. All right. That's not a problem. We can kill this guy here, or we can. I think we're better off just playing another guardian and passing. And then here we can just, well, only one. We'll try to sweep his board. I don't see why it wouldn't happen. And then we're just going to attack with one guardian. There's no real reason to swing with both. I mean, I guess it. I mean, at this point, he's so far behind that it's not. It's going to be tough to lose, but I don't know if he plays a bushwhacker or does some hasty things with a guy. We have a blocker up. It's not wrong to attack either, and both are pretty okay. He might just concede here. Yeah, but right now I think just to take it slowly. We also have Castigate, so if he is like hoarding, we're gonna know if he's gonna try to like burn us out with, I don't know, bolts and blasts and whatnot. So right here, we could swing with both, and then we'll play the Guardian and land. All right, he's back. Oh, I forgot to play the Expanse, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll do this, see what he has. Probably a fire. My guess would be Fire Blast. Just because when Goblins keeps one card in their hand for that long, that's usually what it is. And he'll probably use it in response here. But just so we see what he's running, what he's not running for the future rounds. I mean, at this point, the game is pretty much locked up, and we're just closing it out. These are basically how the Cloud Post matches feel, except we lose those. Where the game is over many, many, many turns before it actually ends. So he's probably thinking about whether the Fire Blast here. And he probably will, and that will be alright. Yep. Alright, so that was game one. Let's see. Stuff we're going to want. Basically, we don't want the Augur of Skulls, and we don't want the Castigates. I mean, there's not much that we're going to do hitting Fire Blast and Lightning Bolts. Decays are really good. Funeral Charms are also really good. I guess Augur of Skulls is better because it's a blocker, but that's just kind of there because we need a 60th card. The thing to be careful with Decays is that Goblin Sledders and Mog Raiders can kind of work against them. So I'm more inclined to use them earlier rather than later. Alright, so we are back. For game two. We're going to keep this. This is pretty insane against Goblins. Granted, it doesn't have a way to close out the game as easily as the other one did because we had Pestilence in the opening hand. But we still have a lot we're doing here. So we open with All of Hope. Next turn, we can Lone Missionary. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets Lightning Bolted right now because of how much... Or something. Let's see. No? Okay. Yeah, we'll do it. So what we're going to be doing here is he's going to sacrifice this to pump that. But even so, it's a huge tempo loss. Getting rid of a Goblin Sledder here is... I'm assuming he's going to sack the Goblin Sledder and then to pump this. But getting rid of Goblin Sledder is huge, especially when we're running Echoing Decays. And we're going to be a little less hesitant to... I mean, a little less... what's the word? I don't know. We're going to want to hold on to Lone Missionary a little longer and not just trade it because he gives the Prismatic Strands value, like a lot of value. And since we have two of them, I guess in light of that, maybe we shouldn't have done this block. But even so, we're putting his field behind pretty far. And actually, next turn, if we want to, yeah, so he did that. We can Curse of Chains the Goblin Core, and then he probably won't be able to attack the next turn. Which actually might not be bad. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, we could do that. Because we're not going to be trading the Missionary. And if we do that, then he would need a hasty guy to attack us this turn. And then, you know, once we get to turn 3, and we're at 23 life, we're in really, really good shape. Okay. Oh, so that was beautiful. Okay, we'll do that. And he'll probably just scope here. Or we can play it out. I mean, either way. Unless he has like a lightning bolt and he wants to get... But even if he has a lightning bolt, he can't really attack us here because he can't attack. The conscripts can't attack unless he draws a creature, and then this thing can't attack unless he attacks something else. Alright. And then from here, I don't see how we lose. He's pretty much done. So now we just have to play it out. So yeah, Goblins is one of the best matchups. It's as you can see. I mean, you lose sometimes, but sometimes you also win the Cloud Post matchup. So I guess some of the changes I made to this deck from the one that you'll find in the article is the Lone Missionaries and the Prismatic Strands, which are conveniently right here and here. The Lone Missionaries are for the Cloud Post matchups. They came in over Aven Rift Watchers. The logic behind them being that Aven Rift, one of the problems with the Cloud Post matchup is that you have no way of oh, that's really good too. You have no way of constantly applying pressure. So then turns out that when they do get low, they can just start capsizing Glimmer Posts. Whereas if you are able to pressure them a little bit early, you have a fighting chance of grinding them down and winning. The problem with the Aven Rift Watchers, then, in that regard, is that they can only swing for like either 4 or 6 because they kill themselves with their own trigger. So these guys being a little bit more aggressive in cost, doing more or less the same thing. Costing less is also pretty significant. And then gives a reason to run this over the Aven Rift Watcher. That becomes a little bit of a problem in the Fairies matchup because the flying is really relevant, and having a 2/3 flyer that can block is kind of relevant there. But I think this is more important. And once again, costing 1 less means a lot, especially against decks that are really like Fairies with their Dazes and the Force Spikes and stuff. I mean, I guess we could just attack here. No, we shouldn't do that. What we should do is take the Grim Harvest to get back the Wall of Hope. Then we could play the Wall of Hope and start attacking with the Lone Missionary. So that's the game plan. It's still going to take a long time for us to win this, but it is what it is. I can actually just trade here. I realized I should have Prismatic Strand there actually, but I was just thinking about doing this. Alright, so he concedes. That's the Goblin matchup. And that was round 1 of the daily event. So we are 1-0 and moving to round 2. So I will see you when that starts.